Hey everybody, welcome back into Crypto Explained. I'm Max Templin. We're going to be continuing the What Is series today, so we're going to do another one. Today is all about Litecoin. So Litecoin is one of those projects that I wanted to get to because I feel like sometimes we all kind of forget that Litecoin is even there. It just gets lost in the shuffle of everything that's going on, all these big news stories that we follow, and we forget that Litecoin, who's been there from basically the beginning and has sustained its run all the way through, is still sitting there. So I want to circle back and talk about what it is, what it's set out to accomplish, and kind of where it stands now. It is consistently within the top 10 of the overall market cap rankings when you talk about the crypto space. And like I said, it was one of the very first projects ever created. So I think its place within the crypto industry is important, even if we sometimes just forget about it. So Litecoin was founded all the way back in 2011 by a guy named Charlie Lee. And Charlie Lee was a former Google employee, and then eventually he was the head of engineering at Coinbase. So he was definitely within the tech sector, and then more specifically during his time at Coinbase, he was specifically in the crypto industry. And what Charlie Lee was trying to do with this project is to almost duplicate or replicate the Bitcoin network, and then of course change a few things here and there, particularly with transaction speed and block verification speed. But overall, I mean, there are just stark similarities between Litecoin and Bitcoin. Charlie Lee actually first said when it came out that he saw it as becoming Bitcoin light. And if Bitcoin was digital gold, then Litecoin could become digital silver. So when we talk about similarities, the list just goes on and on. It's almost the same network. But when we talk about differences, the main thing we generally focus on is that it's written in a different code. It's a source code fork essentially, and it's written in script, which is different from Bitcoin. So this algorithm, the way it's written, is different, and so that is definitely a difference. And it's also just a little bit faster. Litecoin aims to verify a block every 2.5 minutes. So every 2.5 minutes that process is happening, and for Bitcoin it's more so around 10 minutes. So definitely faster there. And then the overall transaction speed, back in 2017, there was a Lightning Network transaction from Zurich, Switzerland to San Francisco that happened in less than a second of a very small amount of Litecoin. So it definitely is faster. The block verification process is faster, and the algorithm is written in a different code. Honestly, that right there is the difference. Other than that, it is Bitcoin in so many ways. It does have a fixed amount that will ever be in circulation. It's 84 million as opposed to Bitcoin's 21 million, but same idea that this fixed amount is able to harness monetary energy and become a store of value. And Litecoin overall, it is just, if Bitcoin is digital gold, it could be digital silver. Personally, I think of Ethereum more so as digital silver, and I know, before you say anything, I know that Ethereum lacks a lot of the properties of a store of value. It does not have a fixed amount. And it's overall not trying to set out to become a store of value, but the reason I think it is because it has accomplished the technology of smart contracts that will continue to be very important in the decentralized finance movement. So it's kind of just locked in its place within that. But with Bitcoin and Litecoin, I think the biggest thing is here, it's opportunity cost. Do you want to invest in Litecoin when you can invest in Bitcoin? Does Litecoin have more potential for an upward move and a bigger return than Bitcoin? My personal opinion is no, and I think even Charlie Lee kind of admitted this by saying it would be the silver to Bitcoin's gold. It just doesn't have the same amount of notoriety, and that is so important for these projects. The bigger they get is more so just more money pumping into it, more people knowing about it, more people trading it. That's why the price changes. It's not that the actual built-in code is the best that's ever been made. I think a lot of people are willing to admit that Bitcoin has already been lapped by a few projects and its overall ability to have fast transactions and a couple other properties. But the reason that it is such a great store of value is because people know about Bitcoin, and it's just going to keep getting more and more money pumped into it, and the fixed amount is never going to change. So when we think about a store of value, I talked a little bit about harnessing monetary energy. I think that's a really important point because when we look at just the history of the US economy, if you look back to the 1960s and 1970s, the US dollar has lost value. I think that anyone can tell you this. We can show you the charts. No one will deny this. Everyone will say, oh, back in the 60s and 70s, my parents could have bought, you know, a tank of gas for 10 cents, for a dime. Now it's somewhere around $40. I don't think that the gas itself has gotten more scarce, even though we are heading down that path. I think that the money has just lost its value. So Bitcoin and Litecoin aim to combat that by harnessing the monetary energy instead of just trying to print more and more. And every time that there's a crisis, just that's the solution, to print more money. I think that that's a huge concern going forward for the overall prospectus, if you will, of the US dollar. So Bitcoin and Litecoin were trying to kind of combat that. I think they both achieved it. I think that they both have created a network where the store of value will never change. And even with Litecoin, I mean, they have the same structure in the fact that they have miners who are rewarded in Litecoin for verifying blocks. That reward goes down every 4 years, and there's a halving. So the halving becomes, as well, the Litecoin amount that's put in every day into circulation changes. So that's a supply shock every time that happens. It's got a lot of the same properties. So when you talk about Bitcoin versus Litecoin, it's almost the same thing. It's honestly very, very similar, just a few changes here and there. But Bitcoin has the name, Litecoin is not as well known, which is why Bitcoin will be the better store of value. So you just have to ask yourself, do you see enough in Litecoin to for sure say that it's going to beat out Bitcoin and become a better store of value? Personally, I would say no, but that's just my opinion. You would have to do your own research beyond that to see if you would disagree with me. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. That's going to be it for the video. If you have any questions that I did not answer for you about Litecoin, please leave a comment below, and I'd be happy to engage in that conversation with you. Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can stay up to date about the ins and outs of the cryptocurrency market. I've really, really appreciated all the subscribers so far. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that button and tell your friends if you know anyone that you think would find value in these videos. I'm just really trying to build a community here that I can reach out and talk to people, bounce ideas off of, see if their ideas differ from mine, try to learn from that process. And that's the whole goal. I'm trying to build a family. So join the family and make sure that you're keeping up to date with all the videos. Thanks, guys, and see you soon.